formation. I'm so pleased that we're able to see, in particular, one of these aircraft, because we have a gentleman here in Clacton today who has come from the other side of the world, from Australia, to see a fairy swordfish. Now Sam is going to take you through the display, and I'll bring you some details about why we're calling this the Tranto formation. But what a sight this is, Sam, right in front of us now.
So thank you to Navy Wings for bringing these beautiful aircraft to us this afternoon. Leading the display up front is the beautiful fairy swordfish. We believe it's the oldest surviving, still flying swordfish in the world. So that's leading the display. You can see just over towards the wind farm the beautiful stripes on the top of the high wing there. And then to his right we have the yellow aircraft, which is the Stinson Reliant, and to the left of the lead pilot we have the Wasp helicopter. This is a fantastic demonstration of the Fleet Air Arm, which served so importantly during World War II and up to modern day in different aircraft as well, as an extremely competent and significant part of Royal Naval aviation history.
So we call this part of the display the Tranto formation. The Battle of Tranto took place on the night of the 11th to the 12th of November 1940 during the Second World War between British naval forces under Admiral Andrew Cunningham and Italian naval forces. The Royal Navy launched the first all-aircraft ship-to-ship naval attack in history, employing 21 Fairy Swordfish biplane torpedo bombers from the aircraft carrier HMS Illustrious in the Mediterranean Sea. The attack struck the battle fleet of the Regia Marina at anchor in the harbour of Tranto, using aerial torpedoes despite the shallowness of the water. According to Admiral Cunningham, Tranto and the night of the 11th to the 12th of November 1940 should be remembered forever as having shown once and for all that in the Fleet Air Arm, the Navy has its most devastating weapon.
So is the aircraft split as they brake for the display the solo routine of the Fairy Swordfish. We're just momentarily left from the Stinson and the Wasp. They're just flying around to rejoin us later for their solo displays. And looking out towards the wind farm, we've got a wonderful view here from the centre of the beach of the huge biplane that it is, the Fairy Swordfish. We're so lucky to see this. We believe it's the oldest surviving airworthy Fairy Swordfish in the world. She first flew on Trafalgar Day in October the 23rd, 1941, and was nicknamed Blackfish because she was built by Blackburn Aircraft at Sherburn in Elmet and delivered to Lichfield in 1941 for overseas transport to Gibraltar. The aircraft is W5856. She served with the Royal Navy's Mediterranean Fleet for a year. Little is known about her active service during the Mediterranean, but we know she was based on the north front of Gibraltar, carrying out patrols over the straits. You can see as you look out at the display, she's very gracefully and carefully flying along, very quiet, very softly. It would be perfect for those sort of reconnaissance missions, gathering intelligence on patrols. And as the Swordfish flies out towards here, we're rejoined by the Stinson Reliant, the yellow aircraft, as she banks in front of us, in front of the wind farm, showing us the wonderful design of the wings. Very high-winged aircraft. So pretty looking. I've not actually seen the Stinson displayed before, and then you ever see it on the ground. She was built in Detroit in 1943 and transferred to the Royal Navy. She was an American civil aircraft and first actually appeared all the way back in 1933. And now we're joined by the Wasp helicopter. This is a utility light helicopter, and it was originally based, its design, off the Army Scout helicopter, and then evolved into the Wasp, which then served with the Royal Navy with the Fleet Air Arm. It looks a little bit like a Wasp with its aileron kind of wheels hanging down below the aircraft. It's banking up almost to the vertical there, propeller high up in the sky, and just whirling around the top, pointing back out towards the wind farm, showing its incredible manoeuvrability. You can just imagine if you're out at sea on a Royal Navy ship and the Wasp coming into land, they had to be so agile, and those pilots needed incredible skill to be able to land at sea. Actually built in 1964, and she was part of the Naval Air Squadron training and based on several different ships, most prominently HMS Aurora. The design that she has on the aircraft, if you look closely, red crosses painted on, and that's because she also served in the Falklands on HMS Heckler in a casualty evacuation role. The Wasp flies towards the J-wing end of the beach. You can see the kind of quadricycle undercarriage hanging below, very Wasp-like looking. She's got fully cast ring, long stroke oleos, lockable wheels that can be towed outwards or inwards, so that when they land on the aircraft they can be positioned nice and tight. And the Wasp helicopter is flying facing towards the beach, flying sideways along, giving us a wave, a little waggle of the rotor tail there as she pivots around. The pilot can see you, so do give them a big wave, nose punching down towards the sea. An incredible capable helicopter, a 5-seat helicopter that was used for transporting crew around when on active service for the Royal Navy.
Now that gave me a little flashback to the Harrier days when we used to have the Harrier here at Clacton. It would hover in front of the commentary point, move sideways. We're getting a little taste of that now. That looks incredible, doesn't it? Wouldn't you love to be in that?
Oh, I'd love to have a go.
Dipping its nose to the crowd here in Clacton, almost like a salute really, as the Wasp heads off now to the right. We can still see the other two aircraft in this Tranto formation now over the wind farm. One thing that we're not seeing this year is the barges, because of the windy conditions. Sadly, barges that they bring dozens of passengers from all over Essex to watch the airshow from the water weren't able to make it today. There's a few light boating craft out there, but nothing like we normally see on a Saturday like this.
The Wasp is pulling up there, steep sort of angular climb, almost hovering momentarily, tail rotor just twisting round towards the beach, banking down back towards the sea. Flown very capably this afternoon by Tim Delafosse. He served as a Sea King pilot with the Fleet Air Arm and the Reserves from the early 80s right through to 2001, and he was aircraft carrier based for the first tour flying on HMS Illustrious. After his naval career, he then joined an airline and flies Boeings, of course, as many of our display pilots do, so many different airlines.
We're 7.7 miles east of Detling, and 3,000
and he owns them to have a ship mark about.
That's a lot of fun. Yes, just as the Wasp was being retired from Royal Navy service, it was deployed to the Falklands War in 1982. Wasps were involved in numerous operations, most famously scoring hits on the Argentinian submarine Santa Fe, preventing her from submerging and being a threat to the British task force. Now, as we look out to sea, we now witness approaching us the other two members of this wonderful formation. The fairy swordfish, so recognisable by its and I think we're now going to get a closer look. It's their turn for the limelight, isn't it, Sam?
Absolutely. So you can see the yellow aircraft banking to the right towards Jadebury Beach, and then to the left we've got the fairy swordfish pointing towards the pier. A really lovely view here of the markings of the aircraft as she banks by.
The light on display.
So the Stinson Reliance heading towards us on the beach, a yellow aircraft pointing directly to the beach, banking her wings over towards the pier in a gentle manoeuvre there. The Stinson Reliant is a high-winged aircraft. As you can see, she's a monoplane with seating for up to 4 passengers. She's extremely versatile with good performance and an unwavering solid feel when you fly them, which is ideally suited for communication and training roles. Reliant aircraft here from the centre of Clacton Beach, flown this afternoon by Navy Wing's Chief Pilot, Andrew Davies. Now, despite picking up an unfortunate nickname of Mum, he embarked on flying operations in Melbourne and was actually involved in over 250 landings on board an aircraft. He was part of the Royal Australian Navy Company Navy Wings in 1979. He flies many different aircraft and also, of course, is another one of our aerobatic pilots that flies, this time with Virgin Atlantic Airways. And he also enjoys flying many of the different Navy historic aircraft. So thank you to Andrew and Mum Davies. wonderful routine in the Stetson Reliant.
Well, I'm now standing with a very special guest here at Clacton Airshow today. His name is Jonathan and he's come from a town about 4 hours north of Sydney in Australia to be with us today to watch this very aircraft. I'm not going to interrupt his filming. He's holding his camera into the sky to record this moment. Jonathan, tell us why you wanted to come halfway around the world to watch this.
Well, my dad flew these off aircraft carriers at the beginning of World War II, and it's just one of those moments. We have static swordfish in Australia, but to see one live flying, and it's just brilliant, and I'm just blown away. Thank you, Clacton on Sea, for putting on the great weather. Magic. Yeah, his history is pretty amazing. He survived World War II. He crash landed in Norway. Was a POW for 4 years, and thanks to C for Charlie, which was his plane's number or sign, was I'm here. We're all here. So thank you very much.
Wow, and you've got your Navy Wings Swordfish t-shirt on today. How do you feel watching this, knowing this is just the sort of plane that your dad was in?
I think it's just amazing. It's only, 80 odd years ago, and now we've got amazing aircraft, supersonic, with space stations, and it's just, he couldn't even imagine this, but he lived long enough to see a lot of it. And the pioneers, the engineers, the designers of these planes, wow, amazing.
Did he talk to you much about his experiences in the Swordfish?
Not until later in life, like a lot of service person do. But thank heavens he left us a book of his story before he's died. And if there's anybody here today that'd like to have a look through it, or my dad's logbook, I'm on table 16, and if you want to walk past and have a look through it, you're most welcome.
Jonathan, I'm going to let you savour this moment. It was so disappointing that it didn't happen yesterday, but you're going to be taking some very special memories back to Australia, aren't you?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ian. All the best.
Jonathan Hearn, who's come from Australia to be with us today to watch this amazing aircraft, and it's just so graceful, Sam, isn't it? I mean, we're now with the very best possible view overlooking the Swordfish, just making a very slow pass now from our left to our right. It's literally flying directly past Jonathan now with his phone. He's videoing it intently, just a little waggle of the wing, so we can see the cockpit clearly. We can see those markings, those stripy markings you were describing. The fairy Swordfish here with us at Clacton. What a very special, rare aircraft.
I'm quite content to take it fucking
And flying so beautifully for us this afternoon, we have Glenn Allison, who's a volunteer pilot with the Navy Wings Heritage Flight. He's also their QFI, their Qualified Flying Instructor. He has a long and impressive career from the Royal Navy. He was Lieutenant Commander Glenn Allison, who joined them in 1984, first as an apprentice aircraft aircraft engineer working on the Lynx helicopters before doing flying training in 1990. He followed the well-trodden path as a naval helicopter pilot, doing elementary flying training on the Bulldog and then Gazelle helicopters at Rose, where he was awarded his wings. He became very busy flying the Sea King and became a commando jungling pilot, flying frontline service on tours of duty in Northern Ireland, Bosnia and Norway. He became a qualified helicopter instructor with the Defence Helicopter Flying School at RAF Shrewsbury. He converted to the Lynx helicopter and was flight commander on HMS Cumberland in 2001, and he carried out the 2-year mission in the Baltic with NATO and a 9-month deployment carrying out maritime operations in the Northern Gulf and Indian Ocean. A lovely wing waggle there from Glenn Ellison in the Fairy Swordfish as she makes her way back towards the Jaywick end of the beach. What a wonderful display from a very accomplished team of pilots on the Navy Wings historic flight. Themselves a charity, do look them up. These aircraft need your support to preserve them for the future.
Lotus 6. Pilot 66 Hello, we'll take you, at time 36, QNH 006, display report running in. 1006, and we'll go for minute 3, minus 6. Perfect, yeah, I'll have that 2,500 apart. We're going out to the display area.
Well, that was a wonderful